We'll fix it.
Welcome back. Today we have Ms. Rekha Vaishnav joining us. Welcome, Miss. Would you like to tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure. First of all, thank you so much for inviting me to this forum. I'm a trained social worker in the psychiatric field. I work in the community mental health, and I also have started my own nonprofit, which is known as MEHAR, MEHAR. It is Mental and Emotional Health Awareness Renaissance. So MEHAR is basically committed to spread awareness around mental health by using art.
That's incredible. I'm definitely going to have to share that and look that up after this. Today we're talking a little bit about what the pandemic is like on people's mental health. So in your experience, have you seen the pandemic affect mental health in people recently?
Oh, yeah, absolutely, yes. The more severe impact is, of course, on people who already have some mental health diagnosis. Pandemic has also affected people who had the history of mental illness, and they may be stable now. And thirdly, I think it has also impacted people who were not having any mental health issues. So definitely there is a severe impact of pandemic and particularly lockdown and all on our mental well-being.
You know, it's a good point that you say there, especially with people who are already dealing with mental illness and having it heightened recently. So why do you think the pandemic is worsening symptoms in people who are already dealing with mental illness?
Oh, it's actually a lot of negative things and a lot of things that are not in their favor. It has impacted their quality of life a lot. In fact, already they do not have that kind of great quality of life. Because of the pandemic, there is a decrease in social interaction. And social life is very, very important in terms of maintaining stable mental health and recovery. So pandemic has actually, there is a lot of deprivation for social interaction. There are lots and lots of additional stressors like uncertainty. There's a scarcity of resources. There's increase in cost of living. Things are getting so expensive. And most of these people are on the disability benefits or they do not have the kind of sufficient income. And they do not have the access to therapies, the groups, outings, all these social recreational treatment modalities that really is helpful for their mental health. They are not able to access those things because they are in the lockdown and they because of the social distancing also. And many of them had a part-time job, but they lost the jobs because there's an employment cut. And when you don't have the occupational activities, it definitely hits your mental well-being. So, and a lot of people are not able to continue their treatment, either seeing the therapist, either going to the counseling sessions. And not everyone is actually comfortable and competent in accessing everything on the digital platforms. So it's quite a kind of bad situation for people who are already diagnosed with serious mental health conditions.
You know, it's good points you make there, especially with therapists and not being able to have access to these counseling sessions, these therapists, and especially with outside resources, leaving your home, seeing your friends, seeing your family, especially dealing with, depression, anxiety, or whatever you may be dealing with on a regular basis. Having this pandemic completely shut everything else out and leave you alone with your mental illness can be very strainful. So as you said, you are part of a non-profit that helps raise awareness about this. So can you tell me a little bit about what are some resources available for people who might need help and are looking for help right now?
It's a very good question. Unfortunately, I don't have very promising answers because, yes, there are resources available, but very few free and online and virtual type of resources. Now, in fact, the mental health system is working hard to develop the platforms, the digital platforms, starting the online groups, starting virtual sessions. The psychiatrists are seeing patients on virtual platforms. But that's only the medication model. But all these other treatment modalities, we are slowly kind of building up the system. A mental health system in Canada was actually, even before pandemic, it was breaking down because there was a number of mental health challenges were increasing and there were not enough resources. So pandemic has really made it worse. And I can only say that there are good organizations, big organizations like CAMH, it's CAMH, Center for Addiction and Mental Health. Their website has lots and lots of links, lots of good information on how you can take care during pandemic. CMH is Canadian Mental Health Association. That's another big organization. They also equip their website with lots of links, resources. I would also say Mental Health Commission in Canada. They have good resources, good self-help resources, the links to the groups, Health Canada also. And apart from all these things, people who are able to afford, there are paid counseling and supportive therapies. And I think it's work because definitely you need to improve your coping skills when you are really bombarded with so many negative factors and stressors. So if you are able to afford that and if you have benefits to cover the cost, there are good counseling services. You can also sign up and you can attend the sessions and you can learn some coping strategies and healthy lifestyle. And there are lots of free virtual spiritual groups, self-help groups. They are also pretty useful because spirituality has a very strong impact, positive impact on it. So those are all things I think people should try. And if it is really beyond your control, then I would suggest that definitely get referred to see a psychiatrist. So
I like that you touched on both the negative and the positive aspects of mental health in Canada. Like you said, before this pandemic, there weren't this many resources available or really awareness available online about what people go through. And now after this pandemic, people are releasing apps, posters, mental health, like awareness or online, like your organization is doing it through art, but I'm sure you guys were doing this before the pandemic. So how can mental health, affect our productivity? With everything you said before, it really affects how we see our day-to-day life. How can this affect what we do in our day-to-day life?
I think, the simple message and the simple tip is mind conceives and a achieves. Because if you do not have the healthy mind, your body is not going to feel healthy. And that's why a healthy body is not possible with without the mind or the brain, which is or the mental health, which is strong, resilient, and healthy. So definitely, in order to be productive and be happy and be strong during this really, really bad time, you need to really have a good mind. And I think mental disorders are something that impact our motivation, cognitive ability, judgment, overall functioning in the day-to-day life. So it's very, very important to take care of the mental health to lead a productive life.
I bring up this question because I think a lot of people don't realize that your mental health affects your physical health, and maybe it can be reduced down to laziness or not wanting to do something, and people completely miss the message that their brain is sick, and if your brain is sick, your body is sick. And I'm very glad that you brought up these points. Are there any techniques people can practice maybe at home to reduce their stress levels?
Yeah, sure. Simple techniques. If they follow, we we promise that like it will impact and it will improve their quality of life to a great extent. And I would say that the first and the foremost important is the stress management. It's core. It's core to maintain stable mental health and. You have to really work on using the positive stress management skills. Uh, Another thing during this time, I think it's very important that you identify and develop a good hobby, maybe reading, maybe writing, maybe connecting with art, maybe singing. There are like lessons available, learning an instrument, cooking, whatever like you feel good in doing. So you have to identify that kind of hobby. You have to adapt positive coping skills. You have to pay attention to your physical health, eating well, sleeping well, and some fitness activities in your daily routine is very important. And do not hesitate to ask for help and support if you are emotionally down, low, or if you continue to feel unwell mentally and emotionally for more than 2 weeks. You need to ask for help. You need some kind of intervention from an expert. Also, learning new skills is very important in this period of the pandemic because the world is changing so fast and new technologies and new ways to live your life are coming every day. So I think you should be open to learn new skills. You have to stay connected with positive, good friends, family, relatives. And also, if possible, if you're in a position, you offer support to someone who is in a worse situation than yours, because I think that's a very fulfilling experience and it really gives you a good motivation. You feel good about yourself that, okay, I did something. That's a great feeling. So, and cut down on alcohol and drugs because those things are increasing like anything right now during the pandemic, which is actually not a good sign because those are not at all a positive coping strategies. So you have to consciously cut down on substance use, drugs and alcohol, and cut down on overdose of COVID news. So these are the things, like these are the simple tips, I think that can make a huge difference.
Thank you for sharing that. I think it's very interesting that you said pick up a hobby like art. I know myself, I love to paint and I love to draw. And it's, as children, we have all these hobbies to keep us busy, but as adults, we somehow let these go and let them take a back burner. And I don't think many people realize that just picking up a hobby that you enjoy can bring you so much happiness in your day. And I also like that you touched on drug and substance abuse. I've noticed a lot that during this pandemic, a lot of people are going to LCBO, going to buy drugs, and that's the only way they know how to cope. And they don't even think that there might be a better way, and that maybe these drugs and alcohol are causing more harm than positive. So thank you for your points, and I really hope my audience can hear and resonate with some things you said. And I really enjoyed talking to you today. We hope to have you back on the show very soon.
Thank you so much. Thanks a lot.
We'll be right back after these commercial messages.